Hi, I'm Tanner DePury, and today I am here with Dr. Grief. So, Dr. Grief, what made you buy Point Blank?
Oh, Point Blank was supposed to be an American-style boot camp, I guess. And the land was cheap. I have good realtor, but it transitioned. My scientific team, we perfected the cloning process, and it became place for cloning instead. I almost could have 2 Point Blanks.
Interesting. And why did you start cloning the boys that were at Point Blank?
Because the boys are much cheaper to clone than the girls. This is science joke. The boys are easier to clone in long run because they're easier to train and reprogram. My number one cloning scientist, Mrs. Smith, would agree with me on this. No? The girls ask far too many questions. So the boys, naturally, from science, were just easier. No?
And something that brings to mind is, did you clone Alex?
Yes, of course. This is a good question. Alex, you see, was he did not follow the rules. And so therefore, I cloned him. But I chose Alex because of name. Alex is from Alexander, which is great traditional Russian name. And this way I knew that clone, with my rules, my teaching, would be in footsteps of the Russian great leaders.
Okay. Were you really going to kill Alex, or were you just scaring him?
This is a difficult question to answer truthfully. Again, Alexander did not follow rules, and I could not let him get away with this. However, as clone, it was simple to just start over from scratch, make him again. And I know that in some games there are no do-overs, but in cloning there are do-overs. That is what cloning is about. So yes, I was probably going to kill Alex. Sue me.
The world wants to know, are you the real Dr. Grief, or are you one of your own 16 clones?
Yes, I don't know that I should answer this question. I mean, you tell me, do I look like clone? I often think that if I were to be cloned, I would be beside myself. This is another science joke, no? Yes, in honesty, I am clone. Original Dr. Grief #1 died in helicopter accident. I told him not to fly.
So now we know that Alex was alive the entire time. Did that make you angry?
The question you ask, was I angry that Alex was dead? Or alive? Прекрасно, of course. He tried to escape by snowboarding on an ironing board. Seriously, who does that? Nobody escapes on an ironing board except in books and movies. This is craziness. Yes, I was upset that he was alive because, again, nobody does this. He is not some super spy. He is a real-life boy, like in this book Pinocchio. I am his Geppetto. So yes, I was upset.
On my visit to Point Blank, I noticed that the basement, the 3rd and 4th floors happen to be off limits. Why is that?
Извините? Excuse, you visit Point Blank and found these floors off limits.
That is correct.
The elevator actually stopped at these floors for you?
Correct again.
I must talk to Boris the guard who was assigned to escort you. Next question, please.
In your home country, do bears eat beets?
What kind of question is this? I refuse to answer this question. Is this something from television show The Office? I am finished with this interview.
Well, Dr. Grief, I thank you for your time here. This is Tanner DePury reporting live from Mrs. Smith's Educational News. We'll report, you decide.